Wake up, nigga. Wake up.
That's what you're going to read when you go through the scriptures. It was for his own people. The Gentiles were not mentioned when Christ was on the scene. As you're going to find out even more as we continue going through this lesson. Christ was dealing with his own people. Now, let's get the Christian scholars, your Christian scholars, let's see if they have the same interpretation when they go through the scriptures, or if they're lying to you in the Christian church. Let's find out if I'm just making this up, or if my interpretation is incorrect. And let's go to the Christian scholars and find out what they say. Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Gentiles. While the teaching of Jesus ultimately broke down the middle wall of partition between Jews and Gentile, as it is seen in the writings of Paul and in Acts, yet Jesus limited his ministry to Jews. He limited the ministry to the Israelites. As we just went over the scriptures, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He limited his ministry to the Jews, because you're not going to read in the scriptures Christ going out and preaching to the Gentiles.
Right.
You're not going to read about Christ going out to Asia and preaching to the Asians. You're not going to read about Christ going to Europe and preaching to the Europeans.
Right.
Or to Africa, preaching to the Africans. You're not going to read that in the scriptures. You're going to read him staying in the land of Israel amongst his own people. That's what you're going to read. With rare exceptions. Samaritan, John 4 verse 1 through 42. The Syrophoenician woman. The Greeks in John. He instructed his 12 disciples, go not into the way of the Gentiles. Now, this is what the Christian scholars know. A lot of you get upset when this information comes out, but that's not my problem. You shouldn't be upset with me for bringing out the information. You need to be upset with these people who's bringing out the information. That's what you need to be upset with. The Christian scholars and the Christian organization.
Not bringing out the information.
While they're sitting there in church teaching you one thing about some made up Christ that don't exist in the Bible, and then they're going behind your back scribbling in the books. Writing the correct information in the books. That's what they're doing. Telling you a false doctrine and then going behind and writing the real information in the books, because they know they can teach you anything in the Christian church, and you're just gonna absorb it all.
Right.
You're gonna swallow it and eat everything that they tell you in there. So they know the people in the Christian church, they can feed you anything, but they know these people actually read. These people actually ask questions. These people actually have an independent thought, unlike the Christian church. So they know that they have to write the correct information to the best of their ability inside of these dictionaries.
Right.
So that's who you need to be upset with, the people that's going behind your back doing this stuff. Because they know, they've read and studied these scriptures to a T. So they know what's in this Bible. But they're going to tell you something different in the Christian church, because it's all psychology and mind control.
Right.
The black brothers and sisters don't understand that they are really Messiah, because it's in their DNA that DNA draws them to the Torah. And it's hard for me to understand that, because I'm white, and the Ruach HaKodesh, which is the Holy Spirit, is the only thing that can do that, is draw. But it's through the DNA that does that. And I understand that they have had the church and they've had Jesus all their life, and it's been engraved in them. But it's time that we find out and accept it and receive it. And that's the only way that it can be received, is through the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the only thing that can draw the brothers and sisters into Torah. And again, the DNA, it's in your DNA. And if you just think about it and pray about it and say, Holy Spirit, is this really of you, or is this of some other thing that's not possible? And just let your heart be open and your mind be open and softened, and just pray and find out whether this is true or not.
So would you tell them who the true people of the Bible are?
The black people.
Say that again?
The black people. And when I first came into Torah and there was nothing but black people, and I just got kind of upset finally after, and I says, how come it's just the black people? Where do I belong? And it takes time, and we call it, forgot the word completely. Revelation. It takes time to be able to accept this. Look at how long it took you to go through Christianity. And it takes time for the Holy Spirit to draw you into this and to give you the wisdom and knowledge that you are the true people of Israel. And
Israel.
I was duped. I always thought this was white, and then I found out different. And again, just open up your heart and open up your mind and let the Holy Spirit
guide you.
As time progressed, though, these paintings and the depictions went from the black African American features to a more Caucasian white feature.
Right.
And this wasn't done overnight. This was a slow sifting process as to what we have today. Now in every church house and on their walls, we see a white Messiah. As we move forward, there is, after Noah,